In the high-stakes world of Bleeding Blades faction raids, certain names carry a weight of inevitability. Players like Hyrule, Melee, and Shmael formed a veteran hit squad that most servers considered an automated win. During one particular raid, that entire elite roster found their path blocked by a single unaffiliated player, Dingleberrywench. The fight lasted seconds. Without taking a single hit, Dingleberrywench cut through the stack. By the time the clip ended, all 5 were dead. In a game designed around mass chaos and numerical advantages, a solo victory against 5 coordinated veterans is a statistical impossibility. The mechanics are built to ensure that even the best players eventually get overwhelmed by multiple strike angles. The footage of this encounter forced the community to look at their top-tier veterans differently. If the players at the top of the food chain could be wiped out by one person, the entire understanding of who actually controlled the game had to be reevaluated. To understand how this happened, we have to look back to the fall of 2025, when Dingleberrywench first appeared in public servers. He skipped the standard path of a competitive player. There was no clan recruitment, no apprenticeship under a mentor, and no public record of him learning the basics. He arrived as a finished product. He spent his first weeks logging into massive 35 versus 35 public lobbies and racking up kill counts that seasoned veterans couldn't match, often taking out half an enemy team by himself. His reputation spiked when a group of 35 separate exploiters began using flight glitches to rain attacks down from the air. Dingleberrywench ran toward the swarm alone, using sheer agility to weave through the projectiles and dismantle the entire group. As his teammates began to celebrate the win in chat, he told them to be quiet and walked away from the objective alone. Most players climb a skill ladder over months of practice. Dingleberrywench appeared to have bypassed the ladder entirely, operating with the efficiency of a final boss from his very first day. To survive a 35-to-1 handicap, a player has to master the specific math behind the combat system. This starts with the bashing mechanic. It is the game's intended equalizer, a way for a less skilled player to stagger an opponent and create a guaranteed opening for an attack. Dingleberrywench uses anti-bash precision, landing a counter-strike before the bash connects. The failed move leaves the attacker in negative frame advantage, mathematically unable to block. He pairs this with flawless feinting, triggering a defensive parry with a fake attack before striking the gap. The foundation of all these moves is a level of hit timing that borders on the paranormal. He isn't just reacting to what he sees. He is reading the wind-up frames of his opponent's animations and solving the fight before the swing even reaches its midpoint. These aren't lucky guesses. They are the results of a player executing the game's combat logic with a level of accuracy that makes the combat system appear broken. When the 1v5 raid footage began to circulate, it created a lasting shift in the community's forums. A specific type of paranoia set in among elite veterans. They were suddenly forced to scan the player list for one specific name. His preference for total silence only added to the mystery. He never joined the major clans and never engaged in server politics. Combining top-tier mechanical dominance with a complete lack of social presence, he became the game's first true server-wide boogeyman. This raises the question of where Dingleberrywench actually sits in the history of Bleeding Blades. Unlike the game's other top players, he proved he didn't need the safety of a squad. He could stand on a single rock and hold back an entire faction alone. He effectively solved the game's combat in a matter of months, achieving a level of dominance that others spent years trying to reach. For now, the hierarchy of the game remains completely lopsided. As long as he's in the server, the rules of group combat simply don't apply. The only question left is if any player will ever force him to break a sweat.